Good evening and welcome to the program. It's a Monday night. I'm back. Yes, I'm still here. Got through a little COVID. I'm back with you tonight and going to be hanging around for the next hour or so. Hope you'll join us. Keep us up to date. What a weekend we had. Certainly the quarterback play was stunning. We got the expert on quarterbacks in the house. We'll get his breakdown of DJ Lagway's first game, and very excited to get a bunch of Gator fans. Now, what next? Now we'll find out from Shane. Get his assessment on how he played. Stand by. The Buddy Martin Show is now on the air.
For Buddy Martin, call him up and tell him what you're thinking, but be kind because he's doing the best he can.
Better, stronger, faster.
Mama says that alligators are ornery because they got all them teeth but no toothbrush.
Hey, what if the voice calls while you're gone?
Take a message.
Bye.
You ready, champ? I'm ready for this my whole life.
I'm incapable of small talk. But that's why you love me, right?
Kind of intimidating to be in the presence of so many great athletes.
Good evening and welcome to Meldon Law Monday, the Buddy Martin Show. That's me. I'm here with you Monday through Thursday nights, and Tuesday mornings is Shane Matthews, and we're going to go get Shane right now. We'll have Shane. We've also got Scott Carter waiting in the wings, and Franz Beard. We'll get your take on what happened. Is it a blessing or a curse to have a quarterback controversy, if you can say you have one? Anytime you got two guys that look like they're going to be competing for a job, there's going to be the so-called dreaded quarterback controversy. I don't think it's a terrible thing, but we'll see what Shane thinks. Let's go get our man, Shane Matthews, the most knowledgeable guy we know on quarterbacking. He's played it a couple of times. He knows a little bit about it. Good evening to you there, Coach Matthews.
What's happening, buddy?
I heard part of your broadcast. I had to watch it from home, down with COVID, and got a chance to listen to some of your comments. For the first takeaway, when you came away from the ballpark, how did you feel about the quarterback play versus how you felt before the game?
I thought DJ played really well, made some really good plays. He had to throw, he had to make the throws. Let's start there. Stanford was a bad football team. I was surprised. They're not anywhere near what they have been in the past. Mm-hmm. But regardless of that, I thought DJ handled himself well. He was very poised. He made plays. I thought Billy called a good game. He knew we were faster than they were. And you've heard me say on this show for 10 years, buddy, or however long we've been on here, the safest throw in football is down the field.
And you got to see some of it.
Yeah. And, he made some good throws. Guys got separation because our guys were just faster than theirs. And he made good throws. They made good catches. And we actually played some of our faster receivers, which was nice to see.
It seems like, there's some awfully good-looking young players that popped up there. It seems like the old cliche, a rising tide raises all ships. It seems like the Lagway brings out the best in some of these guys. They play at a higher level. It seems that way. Is that just my mistaken opinion? They played exceptionally well. Look at the guys who popped up. Trey Wilson was brilliant as usual, and Andy Jean, Mizell, etc.
Mizell hasn't played all year. They finally put him in the game. And
Tank Hawkins.
Yeah, that's the first time he's played. So, yeah. DJ brings a lot to the table, but we'll know more about our football team after this week. As I said, we pushed them around on the lines of scrimmage. Hopefully we can do that, but A&M's going to be stout. And it was a good, a good feel game. I said in the broadcast before the game, one of the keys was let's go have fun. I mean, it was a miserable week. People in the stands, the coaches, the families all need to have fun, and I think they did have fun Saturday night.
Yeah. Definitely a lot more fun to go to a game when you see some players like that. Now, look, here's the danger in it, is that you start thinking, well, put the guy in, let him start and play everything down. And I can understand that. There's a certain amount of truth in that. There's also when to do what is the difference. I've been through 100 of these quarterback controversies. I've seen them and written about them, whatever. And I know it's kind of a good problem to have when you got two guys you can play. Or there are those who say when you got two quarterbacks, you got none. I don't believe that. I don't think you do either. It may be that the transition of the two, the timing is going to be good because clearly Mertz has helped him a lot. He even talked about that. And this young man is so talented. He is what I thought he was, Shane. What I've been saying, what little I've seen of him, he looks like the real deal to me. He looks like he's got that special something. He knows what to do with the football. He knows where guys want to be lined up. He puts the ball in a place that players can catch it. He runs the ball efficiently. He's fast. He's somewhat strong, and just a brilliant player. And it was very exciting to see that kind of play again at the quarterback position.
No, you're right. I mean, he was the Gatorade National Player of the Year for a reason. I don't think there's a quarterback. I think we got way more issues on the football team than we do at quarterback.
Yeah, but it's just a little tongue-in-cheek thing.
No, I know.
Quarterback controversy is always the thing people seize. I'm not saying that that's the only thing to deal with. It's a good thing. I'm just saying that you can, if you just don't even think about next week. Let's think about the moments of joy that the Gator fans had this week. They got to see a special player make his debut, and he will be, in my opinion, a long line of great quarterbacks in Florida, of which you were one. I don't know if you'll ever be the quarterback you were, but he's got the possibilities of being something special, and I look forward to seeing him. And it looks like he's in there for the duration. He's not looking around. He said he loves the Gator fans, and apparently they love him when they start shouting your name, chanting your name, Shane. That's a good sign.
Yeah, I mean, he made the way I look at it, buddy. I know fans get excited. I was talking to some young kids today after Steve Russell's show. I'm like, he made one throw that I think was a phenomenal throw because he jumped off his front leg and threw a laser. But all the other throws were basic quarterback throws, in my opinion. Guys were wide open. That's what you do as a quarterback. And as I said, those are easy throws. When all you got to do is just launch it and let a guy run underneath it.
But the Mizell touchdown pass.
Yeah, it was. People are giving me
any athletic play.
Yeah, and I tweeted or I told somebody that I thought it was the greatest throw I've ever seen in the swamp.
Really?
And I don't know if it's well. I said that, but what I meant was it's the best I've ever seen because I haven't been in the swamp for very long watching games. Everybody was giving me crap on Twitter that Rex is clearly the best thrower we've ever had at this school. There's not even close. And Rex would not have jumped off his front foot because that's not mechanically sound.
Right.
But again, I wasn't in the swamp when Rex played. I wasn't in the swamp when any Spurrier quarterback played.
I was in there. I saw a lot of it. And all you can go by is what you've seen.
Yeah. It's the best throw I've seen since I've been coming to the swamp.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
but you got to remember, buddy, I didn't start coming to the swamp till 2007.
Right. I couldn't believe how he got up on top of that ball and zipped it like he did later.
He's got a very strong arm because fundamentally it's not very sound the way he throws.
Yeah.
Because he jumps off his front foot a lot. It's very unique.
Well, let's talk about that because I texted you earlier today, and a friend of mine who's a swing coach in golf who studies footwork said to me, I'm not crazy. I'm not an expert on quarterbacks, but it seems to me like his footwork is not very good. And you said, no, it's been lousy. And you've been talking about that. Explain to people what you mean.
Well, if you watch his feet, I mean, he doesn't throw on balance a lot. And that concerns me when it gets down to having to throw the intermediate and short stuff. Because I want to go back. Throwing the ball deep is very, very safe. Quarterbacks they have to look at one thing and let it go. But he's extremely talented. I don't know. You probably can't change it, but it's no different than golf swings. Everybody has different golf swings. Scotty Scheffler's moving around. It's not very sound, but he's the best ball striker in the world. But I mean, honestly, his footwork is not great, but that doesn't matter. I mean, and here's the other thing. I had somebody on my show text saying, how could Billy Napier had these two kids for 6-7 months and think Lagway wasn't the better player? Well, Lagway was not very good ever when I went to watch practice or scrimmages.
Yeah.
I mean, I've told you that multiple times, buddy. Mm-hmm. But maybe he's like Danny, and just when the lights come on, he's a really good player.
Yeah.
I mean, Harrison Houston, who was one of my main receivers, dropped every pass. I would say he dropped 90% of the passes thrown to him in practice.
Yeah.
The coach is like, make sure you catch it on Saturday. I don't know if he ever dropped one on Saturday nights. So
yeah. Talk about, Shane, some of the players you saw that stuck out in your mind. George Gumbs is getting a lot of talk. A lot of people talking about him. He's an unusual guy. Certainly, there were some the edge rushers showed up, like you went to a little bit. Talk about 2 or 3 players that you saw that caught your eye.
Well, I honestly, I didn't pay up. I mean, I did as soon as I paid attention, but I think defensively, we're not playing a great offense this week, but we got to buckle our chin straps and be ready to play. I think Jason Marshall Jr.'s had a phenomenal 2 games. I think Pup Howard flies around. I think Shamar's. Those are the main guys that have jumped out to me defensively. And offensively, I've been harping on it for months. I need guys that can run at wide receiver. And I just hope they continue playing Mizell and Tank Hawkins, because these are guys that they caught deep balls, but these are guys that can catch shallow crosses and slants and make people miss, which we have not had around here in a long time.
Yeah, you said last week you can't throw the go route to the wrong person.
We throw the go route to the right person, the right people this time.
Right.
And I think Badger's a really good receiver, but he's not. I don't think he's a double move or a good go route guy, because if Tank Hawkins or Aiden Mizell or Trey Wilson catches that out and up, they score easily.
Which one is that now?
It was the first deep ball. It was out and up. Okay. He got caught on like the 40-yard line.
Okay, yeah. Robert Turner says, I trust Shane. And with that said, will Lagway get multiple series if Mertz struggles? Well, one thing today, Billy went on the record saying that as if he had planned, and he said this all along, he was planning to play this kid regardless. And now, do you think it means just one series now, or do you think he'll become more interchangeable?
I have no idea what their plans are.
What would be your guess, though?
It may be, how is the game going? I don't know. I don't know what their plans are. I'll find out Saturday like everybody else.
This old controversy about quarterbacks, the greatest story I've ever heard about a quarterback, a talented quarterback. And we have this, we're all a sucker for smitten with talent. Both those talented guys get on the field right now and watch them play and watch them grow up, get on the bandwagon. I've been on the bandwagon for a while now. I got knocked off the last couple of days and so many gamers jumping on it. Man, I jumped on that bandwagon there. And I understand it. Good for them. They're enjoying it. But there's always going to be this issue of when to play the young guy, when to play the old guy, and when leadership is what you need. And I go back to an old story that's just too good not to use again. You might have heard of a guy maybe named Steve DeBerg.
Mm-hmm.
Long time ago. Played in about almost as many teams as you did, and was playing with the Broncos in a starting position when they signed John Elway. And, of course, when Elway came to town in Denver, and I was living there, It was all about Elway. Everything Elway did was Elway got a haircut. Elway went to here. Elway. And of course, the fans were clamoring for him to get on the field. And so at one point in the afternoon, we were talking to DeBert, and we asked him about Elway being a talented guy. Well, it's like to have a talented guy like that breathing over your shoulder. He said, look, he is a tremendously talented guy. And it's only a matter of time before his talent overrides my experience. And guess what? Who started the season at quarterback? The rookie, John Elway, and not Steve DeBert. So, and it worked out okay, although Elway played Pittsburgh, lined up under center. He said he lined up under guard. I think he was under for the first snap. Excuse me. I'll get a drink of water here. So anyway, yeah, those Shane, have you ever been involved in a quarterback controversy?
No, not really. I mean, I was in the NFL with a lot of first-round draft picks, but I mean, when you're a free agent, you know eventually they're going to play the first-round draft pick because they're paying them a lot of money.
Right.
But this isn't a quarterback controversy. It's not like
no, it's not. But I'm just the issue of who's going to be the quarterback.
And what I want to see, and I don't care who the quarterback is, I want to see if Billy calls a game the same way, because like I said, DJ throws the ball well deep, but it's safe, buddy. I can't get. I keep repeating myself, but it is so safe. You know, a lot of people want, let's throw screens and let's throw slant. Too many bad things can happen on those short throws. Throwing it deep is easy. You don't really have to. You have to just read one guy, or sometimes they may not. I don't even think he had to read anybody because he knew the out and up was going to be open. I don't want to see if Billy calls the plays like he did the other day, because he knew we could block them and he knew we could run by those guys.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can run. I mean, if you scheme it up, you can run by people with your route concepts, things of that nature. But will he call, regardless of who the quarterback is, will he call that type of stuff? That's all I care about more than I do who's playing quarterback, because that's what's going to determine the future of Florida offense. You know, DJ, if he continues playing, let's say he plays the rest of the year and he runs around, makes plays and stuff, that's not offense. That's him using his athletic ability. I need to see if we're going to change the way plays are called to attack the weakness of the defense, if that makes any sense.
It does.
Yeah, because when a quarterback takes off running and scrambling, that has nothing to do with your scheming of your offense.
Right.
That's a guy making a play, whether he didn't see it or the protection broke down and he gets outside and goes. That's great if you have a quarterback that can do that. But it doesn't, you know, if we can't block him and he can't scramble, can we attack what the and this isn't on DJ, I'm just saying from an offensive scheme standpoint. I don't know if I explained that well enough.
Well, I think I understand what you said. But the other thing, which I don't know if we can answer this, is Billy's offense better suited for which quarterback?
Well, here's the thing. We have not called that many deep routes since Billy's been the coach.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And I tell you, those throws were great throws, but they were easy throws because you're throwing a guy open into space and you had separation. You knew your guy by watching tape that there was no way their safeties or corners could cover Aiden Mizell, Tank Hawkins, or Trey Wilson.
Mm.
The other throw we talked about was phenomenal. That's just God-gifted ability.
Yeah, really.
But it goes back to, I firmly believe Graham can make those throws. I think Aiden Warner, the third-string guy, could make those throws if we call those and we get separation. I think a lot of quarterbacks could make those throws. The one throw, no. But it goes back, I don't care who the quarterback is, will we see that type of aggressiveness again? That's all I care about.
Yeah. Well, I sure enjoyed the time I saw it. I mean, I'm not giving delusional about that he's going to turn the program around and they're going to win the rest of their games. But I think just to have something to feel good about, to see some ball movement, to see some plays made, is something that the pure enjoy. We talked about this. At least enjoy your team if you can't win a bunch of games, but have something that's entertaining, right? So I think that's what we want to see, and it was really an enjoyable thing. So, all right. So Shane, we were asked a question here. Is Shane still dissecting plays on the morning show? I missed this morning.
I didn't do any this week. I sometimes I don't have time. I got people who realize I got way too much other stuff going on. I just got so irritated at those concepts last week. And again, nothing really bothered me so much. I didn't watch game tape after the game. Again, now A&M, again, when you're play calling, it's what you see on tape that allows you to put in certain things. And those things, maybe they're like, there's no way in this formation, if we put Tank Hawkins as a third receiver in the slot and he runs a deep cross, there's no way they can cover it. Now, A&M's a different story. They got dudes that are just as fast as Tank Hawkins. So that's what I'm waiting to see, how we come out and perform.
There with A&M?
Oh, I think they're very well coached.
What do you think as far as offense will be against A&M?
I have no idea because I don't watch the tape.
How would you scheme it up?
Well, I don't know what they do defensively. I would think A&M, and I'll figure out what they play, but I would think they may play a lot of man. That's what Miami did, and we couldn't attack it. But they may just play a too high shell, keep everything in front of you, and say our front four can whip your offensive line. We don't need to bring any extra pressure. And Elko's a tremendous defensive mind. So I would think he would start there. And then if he can't get to us for whatever reason, then they start bringing some exotic blitzes.
Yeah.
But it's a chess match. I mean, it's when they blitz you, you got to burn them.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a little buzz going in the swamp. Let's check this guy and find out what he says. Scott Carter joins the program now from FloridaGators.com. And I don't know, looked like a lot of fun to me, Scott Carter. Good evening to you.
Hey, guys, what's going on? I started my day with Shane. Looks like I'm in it here with Shane and Buddy. How you guys doing?
It gets worse as you go along.
Yeah.
A little COVID coming out there. Well, we were just talking about the fun that seemed like Gator fans had, and you were there, and it was kind of happy days for a moment, wasn't it?
Yeah, first of all, there was more. I was curious to see how the crowd would be after the Miami game, and I give Gator fans credit; they showed up. It was probably a better crowd than I was expecting. And they got a win, which was hugely important. I mean, they lost 6 in a row, and we know what the tone was around the team last week. So it was nice to go out and get a win. And of course, we all were surprised. I think at least I was at the performance of DJ Lagway. Not that he did well, but when you come out and throw 456 yards, I don't care if you're a fifth-year senior or a true freshman. That's pretty impressive. And I don't care who you're playing, you're doing something right when you throw for that many yards. So overall, good performance by the Gators, good win, and a nice surprise, nice kind of different storyline into the early season for the Gators.
Yeah, Shane.
Hang on. You know what I was thinking, because DJ he threw for a bunch of yards, but you know how if you go back to like any of the Spurrier quarterbacks, actually. Take me out of it, because once Danny started playing, that's when they went shotgun. I never play out of the shotgun. But the little jet sweep pitch play is the greatest play ever invented for a quarterback.
You're right, man.
I mean, think about DJ's last touchdown. It went 85 yards, and he literally threw the ball a foot.
Yeah. Nice
underhand toss.
Just think if Coach Spurrier had that play in back in the day.
Yeah, you would have your completion percentage would have gone up some more, Shane.
Yeah, we used to run it from under center. We called it "Be Quick," but man, that would have been nice. Danny would have had like 16,000 yards passing.
He still loves it under center. Coach Beard talks about it, I'm sure to you all the time, does to me. Well, how much better he'd like it if it could get under center once in a while. He's just hanging on that theory that do more things. But it was fun to watch, even through the eyes of COVID, as I had, and got a chance to watch an exceptional athlete. And when you think about the long line of great quarterbacks, Scott, this university has had, including this one right here, and you go through, I've seen the debut of almost I think I've seen the debut of every one of them at different times. And I dare say, I mean, we know about Tebow naturally, but Tebow was more about just the personality and the leadership and the style he had. But you think about the performance and the ability to throw the football and excitement. I got to go back to John Reeves and guys like that. This guy looks like he's got he's got the it factor, and he's going to be really fun to watch play because he knows how to adapt, and I guarantee he'll get some big runs and he'll get some big plays. And I think the anticipation is so much greater now than it was before, just knowing that that's in the arsenal, Scott.
Yeah, I think so. I think for me, the thing that really, I guess, struck me the most, because I'd watched DJ at the scrimmages and a few practices. I mean, I'm not at every practice, but, I saw some things. I was telling somebody earlier, he looked like a true freshman quarterback at times. You could tell he had all the tools that I could see why he's such a highly recruited player, but he needed some work. And then he goes out there with the lights on. And I mean, those passes he threw, they were right on the money, nice spirals. And of course, the throw to Mizell, that's as good a throw as you're going to see a quarterback make. So,
well, you know what Shane said? Shane says the greatest throw he's ever seen in the swamp.
Well, right. Yeah, but then I caught a lot of crap about that, Scott. And so I had to, because Zach, I don't know, I must have said it on Steve Russell's show, or maybe I said it on my show. So Zach retweeted it.
Okay.
I've been catching crap about it. But what people don't understand is I said no Spurrier quarterback probably would have made that or could have made that throw, which is true because A, no Spurrier quarterback ever jumps off his left foot and throws a football. B, it is the greatest throw I've ever seen in the swamp because I never saw a Spurrier quarterback play in the swamp. I didn't start coming to the swamp and watching games until 2007.
So you're covered.
I had to respond.
Yeah. Well, bottom line, it was a great throw. And DJ showed something there that, again, he can make that kind of play. Not a lot of quarterbacks can make that play. And I don't know if we'll see it again, but he did it once, and that woke me up. That opened my eyes. So, so he showed us something there that we hadn't seen in a long time. And yeah, buddy, you're right. I think there is an excitement around him. That's been there for a while since he really signed with the Gators. But when you were where the program was last week, and now he's this great hope, and now we know they're going into the A&M game. I mean, he's going to play, Billy said, but I don't know what that's going to exactly look like on Saturday. But that he's in the arsenal now, so we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, and it's going to be fun. Now, Shane, I know you got to get up early tomorrow. You got a star guest tomorrow morning you have to have on, and I'll let you get your milk and cookies. But before you go, I'm going to make you tell us again, knowing what you know, and no, you don't know the defense, you don't know Texas A&M yet, but what would be your attack? What would be your game plan for the Gators this week?
Well, mine would be formations, because formations dictate what you get defensively.
Okay.
And then it's simple. Attack the weakness of the defense. Every defense, including the 85 Bears, there is a weakness. So you have to attack the weakness.
Yeah.
That's all play calling is. And then it's timing. Great Kyle Shanahan. He ran a double reverse with Deebo Samuel on 3rd and 2, and then they lost like 12 yards a few minutes ago. So Billy's not the only guy that makes bad calls.
Yeah. Well, yeah. All right, so assess the offensive line play, both of you. I'm going to hold hold Scott for a minute and let you go. It obviously was better. How much better and why, Shane?
Oh, I don't think we'll know that until Saturday. As I, again, take nothing away from the win. This is not against Sanford, but that is not a normal Sanford team. I was really surprised at the athleticism of that FCS team. We played better, but it's a different type of animal, different type of athlete coming here Saturday. So this time next week, we'll know a little bit more about this football team and how we really feel.
Scott?
Yeah, I mean, I think they played better, but again, I'm not ready to compare Sanford to Miami. I think Miami's a lot better team. But I think one thing that stood out to me is I didn't see maybe the glaring mistakes. I don't recall. I mean, I'm sure they maybe had a penalty. I don't recall anything major that stalled a drive or really took them out of field goal range or anything like that. I thought Austin Barber played well. I know a lot of the chatter after the game is still why the rotation with some of those guys. I mean, that just seems like, the MO with the offensive line right now. But I think as they get into the SEC schedule, I mean, you've got to play your best players. And maybe they continue to do that against Sanford to try to figure out exactly what they have and can depend on. But overall, I mean, they passed the test, buddy. I always look at the offensive line when they don't get mentioned a lot. That's usually, as coaches always love to say, that's a good thing typically. And I felt that was the case on Saturday against Sanford. The offensive line got a little too much attention for their own liking in the Miami game. Yeah, they were under the radar against Sanford. So that tells me, guess what? They probably played better.
Yeah. All right. Thanks. Scott, hang around for 1 second. We're going to bring Franz Beard.
Scott, good seeing you again, my man.
Shane, it's been a while, but yes.
Why don't you guys call it a little later and say goodnight so you have a complete day, all right?
All right. Get well, buddy. Get well.
Yeah, I'll talk to you in the morning. Hopefully, if I'm still alive, I'll talk to you, all right?
All right. Hang in there.
All right. Thank you. All right. Here's Jeffrey Meldon. And we'll come back. We'll have Franz, and then we have Scott Carter dissecting the game on Saturday. Oh, it doesn't mess around. You did something terrific for the Florida band, man. Tell me about it.
Well, about 3 years ago, our dear friend Freddie Wiebe comes to us and said, the University of Florida won't buy the band a box truck to move their equipment around in. And when they go to Florida State, they go to Jacksonville or whatever, they don't have any, they have to rent trucks and stuff like that. So we collaborated and we put together a deal where we provided them a beautiful big box truck. And we wrapped it and with Meldon Law and the UF band. And by the way, the UF band was voted the best band in the country in August of 2023.
How about that? Did not know that. So that's Freddie. Jeffrey, spread the good word. There's so much good stuff. By the way, they also have law offices in Ocala, Lake City, Gainesville, Williston. If you have legal needs, check them out. The folks at meldonlaw.com as we go back and find our friend Franz Beard. He's got the other part of the Walking Wounded. He's hey Franz, how you doing?
Doing well, Bud Light. And Scott, gosh, seems like I saw you just 5 hours ago, and maybe
Somewhere
it was
like
6.
that. Not too long ago.
Yeah, I know.
That's Monday press conference.
Hey, here's an answer I forgot to ask Shane. I'm sure the answer, like if someone else does, Florida even have 4 wideouts? And I say, yes, they do. I don't know how many 4 wides they run. Scott, you want to address that?
Yeah, I mean, they don't do 4 wideouts much under this offense. I mean, obviously, if they did, well, you'd see Badger, Mizell. I'm guessing I think Wilson even went out wide a couple of times last week. I know he's normally slot. And then one of the other guys, DK, no, he's more of a slot. Yeah.
Badger, DK plays wide a lot. Burke is playing wide out. Yeah, Mizell, Hawkins, Abrams, they're not lacking for wide receivers. My gosh, they have this is the best looking group of wide receivers that they've had in years and years. I don't remember them having this many good, potentially good, let me put it that way, wide receivers. But I will say this, Elijah Badger, everybody better get to know that guy because he is an absolute stud. And he's going to, I don't know how many of you folks who are online watching us tonight saw that 77-yard play that he made and saw him bouncing like pinballs off everybody trying to get into the end zone. I don't remember a really good after the catch wide receiver that we've had in a long time.
He was a running back, right, at one time?
Yeah, he started out as a running back coming out of high school in Sacramento.
We're just getting to know a little bit about these guys. There's so many players and we just don't know their skill sets. And people are popping up thinking, wait a minute, who is this guy? I mean, we're being introduced to a whole bunch of new people and pretty exciting. Now, they didn't get to show much against Miami because they couldn't compete at that level. But nonetheless, it is fun to see them just be discovered. I don't know, Franz, you've seen about as many quarterbacks as I have making their debut in Florida. Scott, you've seen a lot. I was thinking today about the ones I've seen, including Spurrier and including, John Reeves and what have you. I'm not prepared to anoint.
Spurrier, Ekdahl.
Yes, that's Spurrier. Spurrier, Reeves.
Spurrier, for me, Spurrier, Ekdahl, Reeves, Gaffney, Peace, Wayne Peace, I saw. Kerwin Bell, I saw him. Kyle Morris, I saw him. Shane, Terry Dean, Danny, Rex, Doug Johnson, and then everybody after Rex I've seen too. Buddy, you were there though. You saw Liberatore and Tommy Shannon too.
I did. Bobby Dodd Jr. Yeah.
Bobby Dodd Jr. and Jimmy Dunn. I think you were there for Jimmy Dunn, weren't you?
I watched Jimmy Dunn. I was in school with Jimmy Dunn, and I watched him play. He was all 150 pounds soaking wet. And but the great ones you can put on one hand. And I think what's exciting about this guy, Scott, is we don't see any limitations to his potential. He could be as good as any of them. And I mean any of them. And I've got to pat myself on the back for all the things I get wrong, which is a lot. I knew this guy was a real deal when I saw him the first time. He's got it. He has something about him, the way he moves, the way he responds, the way he thinks, the way he reacts. He's got great football instincts. I really love this kid. It's so much fun to watch play.
Yeah, he was. And again, I just thought that he handled everything of the whole game. And then, if you watch the post-game press conference, we were uncertain if he was going to be available since he is a true freshman.
Yeah,
wisely Billy allowed to go because, you don't want to dampen what was just a overall feel-good night by, not letting the guy talk because everybody wants to hear from him. And he comes into the room, and I just thought he was very poised and just, had good answers. You can tell he's obviously dealt with the media quite a bit in high school with the recruiting reporters and whatnot. But he's also been to a lot of big functions. He's been to LA to receive awards. He's Gatorade Player of the Year. So, he's no stranger to attention. And I thought he handled all that part well. But yeah, going back to your main point, he does have all the tools. As I said earlier, I had not seen him look that good in practice or scrimmage. But hey, if you're going to look that good, do it in your first real game, and you're going to win a lot of people over. And I think that's exactly what he did. And Billy Napier, I think one of his quotes after the game, he showed us kind of why we got him here. we knew what he was. Now he showed it, so now everybody kind of knows. So it's going to be very interesting, as we know, what his role is Saturday and how that shakes out the rest of the season. But I think there is a new hook to hang some hope on, which is always good.
There's two things, Franz. You can get a little too psyched up about it, and expectations go way up, and you think this guy's going to be the savior of the season, and you realize he is just a freshman, and then of course there's Graham Mertz. We all know we want to see Graham get his just due, but there's this point in time where you got to make a call. We're not there yet, but we're seeing already Billy make comments like he did today. Well, he'll be playing. I planned for him to play the whole time. Oh, he said that, but we missed it. He planned to have a package for him, and now it appears there is more than a package, I would think. I wouldn't say they're at the level of being interchangeable yet, but I think a lot depends on how he plays, how the kid plays against A&M, as to how much playing time he gets in the future. I think that's where he earns his spurs. What do you think, Franz?
Well, I think he's going to have a prominent role in the offense. And here's the thing. It's kind of like this. If we go back to 2006, Tebow was not ready. But what they did was by running Leak the way they did and then inserting Tebow and picking and choosing how they did, you don't have times to all of a sudden start dialing up. Oh gosh, now we got to start blitzing, or now we got to start running safety blitzes because this guy can't catch it. You don't have time to do that. You had leak in there. Boom, Tebow comes in, runs a power option. Boom, Tebow comes in, throws a pass, etc. like that. And then the second thing, and Scott and I were talking about this morning, going up the elevator. Part of what's got to happen is Billy Napier's got to figure out which players, which receivers respond best to DJ Lagway. You want to put him in with an opportunity to succeed, so you put him in with the linemen who block best and respond best with him. And that's not always the same starting five offensive linemen. It's not always the same wide receivers. As we saw with Danny. Danny wasn't as good throwing the ball to Jack Jackson as he was throwing to Chris Doering. Jack Jackson got mad about it, went to the NFL a year too early because of that, because Danny had preferred throwing the ball to Chris Doering because that's who he worked with all the time in practice. So there's a lot of things that have to be factored in here. But you got to, and this is why it has to be a gradual step-by-step thing. I think, buddy, along with you, there will come a time when maybe you say, okay, DJ, you are the man now, and Graham, we're still going to use Graham, but DJ, the roles are going to reverse a bit. And I think that time will come, but it's not going to be right now.
Yeah, I'm going to read this from Franz wrote this morning. It's true. If Florida football coach Billy Napier heads into a critical SEC opener, as he does against Texas A&M, saying he would use both quarterbacks, Graham Mertz and DJ Lagway, versus the Aggies, it seems obvious Napier needs both quarterbacks. Mertz can't do what Lagway can do, and there's no way Lagway is ready to handle the opposing defensive coordinator who's going to throw it his way. Given the difficulty of 10 games remaining on the schedule, Napier is going to need both Mertz and Lagway to break a 3-year cycle of losing records. Situation calls for a two-quarterback system, but history tells us, except for rare occasions, they typically fail because of issues with egos and loyalty. This is the tricky part, since it involves more than just the quarterbacks, but the entire team. Everybody has to buy into it to work. Agreed. I agree with that. Don't you, Scott?
Yeah, hit it on the head. Sometimes we look at these players as kind of almost like interchangeable, like robots or something, but they're humans. They have expectations. Graham Mertz right now, he's probably like a little bit on edge compared to when the season started because now he sees what's happening, what the fan base is thinking. So he's good. But being a veteran, he's a guy who probably would be able to handle that well, come back in. But then you've got, DJ, he's probably suddenly looking at his opportunity in a whole different light now. So if their relationship is as I think it is, I think they'll manage through that well. I think Billy will handle it well. But again, there's so many things that go into this just human nature-wise. It does take special players, special personalities to make these kind of situations work for all. But we'll see. Again, it is like Franz said. I mean, it's still early. I think I like to see Graham get another shot and see what happens. But also, you got to play DJ. I mean, he offers you some things that your team needs right now. Right. So, that's the job of the coach. So that's how I look at it.
Good stuff from Scott Carter at FloridaGators.com. You can check him out there. He writes good stories. Thanks a lot, Scott, for being on tonight. We'll catch up to you down the road and see you soon at the swamp as I get rid of this bug.
Yeah, man. Hope you feel better. I'm glad you didn't have that thing at the first game, buddy, when I saw you next to me there.
No, yeah.
Well, take care, guys. Have a good night, all right?
Hey, see you, Scotty.
See you guys.
All right. Friends, hang in there for a minute. And I'm going to tell folks about our friends at TitanMRI.com, something you should know about if you're interested in an MRI. Who isn't? Because eventually we're all going to have one. And they have a location in north central Florida right near Gainesville to serve you a different kind of way, and a way that you might find more comfortable, and custom make your appointments. If you can't come during work hours, they'll give you a night or a weekend. You don't have the insurance. They'll take your cash or card. They're not that expensive compared to other MRIs. And they want you to be comfortable when you come in. They have the open air MRIs, and they have the places you can go there to be a little bit more secure and not as claustrophobic. So if you need an MRI, I highly encourage you, go to TitanMRI.com. Well, friends, do you have any different feelings? Now, we all know we've been the lowest low of Miami game and then back to where kind of feels like Florida football again, but you got to be careful not to get delusional about it. So what's the danger here and how we proceed? And is it still I pretty much think maybe that the 500 season, maybe ship has sailed. I don't know. On the other hand, there's Notre Dame, and there's Kentucky, so things happen. So give me your take on that.
Stuff happens. It's the first game of the season, and Florida's not the first team that looked bad. Texas A&M looked horrible against Notre Dame, and then their defense played well. But of course, having looked at Notre Dame's offense this past week, Notre Dame's offense sucks, and that wasn't. I'm not sure that was a case of two good defensive teams playing or just two inept offensive teams. This past week, the Aggies go against a terribly overmatched McNeese team, and they score 52 points. So, who knows? The great thing about the conference schedule is there's no hiding anymore. You can hide stuff in that pre-SEC schedule, even in your opening game. You can hide stuff because you're not really sure what you got and so forth like that. But now the SEC schedule comes along, and everybody has to buckle their chin straps, pull your jock up tight, and make sure you got your cup in, because the big boys are coming out to play. Now we find out what Florida's got. Florida may be every bit as good as we thought they might be when the season began. We don't know. Was it just a bad outing against Miami? Were the Gators overmatched? Now we got the Lagway factor in here. And now all of a sudden we see if Florida can block a little bit, if Florida can play a little bit better defense and so forth like this. Now you have a two-headed monster possibly at quarterback. You've got a running back room that is very, very impressive. I don't know if you noticed this, but all the running backs that got in there and played the other night, all of them looked impressive.
By the way, my guy Jaden Bile that I've been so high on looked pretty good, didn't he?
Oh, he's definitely he's a real player. But Jacoby Jackson, my gosh, you watch him play.
Yeah.
He is a real player as well. Trayon Webb, I saw him pick up a blitzer and just absolutely flattened him, and he ran the ball well. KD Daniels there at the end. The running backs room is really good. We found out Saturday, for example, that we've got wide receivers who can flat out fly. Aiden Mizell, Tank Hawkins, they're both big time guys. Elijah Badger, oh my gosh, I love that first catch and watching him try to battle his way into the end zone. It took finally 5 guys, I think, to bring him down. DK makes a great up and out move, and then boom, he's wide open as well. We had 10 plays of 16 yards or greater.
Wasn't that refreshing?
In this game. We had 5 plays of 30 yards or more in this game. We had 6 plays of 20 yards or more in this game. How long has it been since we had something like that going on at the University of Florida?
Long time.
Quite a while. So, this is going to be the ball game, buddy, where we're going to figure out, okay, are they as bad as they looked against Miami? Are they somewhere between as good as they looked against Samford and reality? We're going to find all these things out because, even though like Kentucky played so badly the other day, there's no hiding in the SEC. There is none. You better bring it and be ready every single ball game. Kentucky is horrible offensively, but that defense is good enough to win some ball games for them. South Carolina, the same thing. Their offense is horrible, but that defense can win ball games.
On defense, that's the team that surprised me, South Carolina.
Well, when you get after a quarterback so good, so well, that the other team runs 18 consecutive plays, 18 consecutive running plays, buddy. That's what Kentucky did the other day because they knew they could not block anybody. And then we also see this. Brock Vandegrift comes out of Metro Atlanta, one of the top 2 quarterbacks in the country. Goes to Georgia, sits. Did his skills erode, or was he just overmatched from the beginning? Since he's been at Kentucky, these 2 starts, he looks, my gosh, he looks horrible. So I don't, to say that Florida's the worst team in the SEC, which a lot of people were saying after the Miami game, I think that's a real reach. Where do they stand? I don't know. Nobody knows at this point in time. These next 3 ball games are going to tell a lot because you got the Aggies home game. Then you got to go to Mississippi State. Then you got UCF, not an SEC game, but a game that's going to require the Gators are going to have to play a lot of good run defense because I'll tell you what, Gus Malzahn has a team that can flat out run the football. So we're going to find out a lot in these next 3 weeks. Could the Gators come out of this 3-1? I don't know. Could they? Maybe 4-1. Could they? 3-2. Do you think, buddy, people would be happy at 3-2 if they come out at 3-2 in these next 4 ball games? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either. I think what we found is, what's that old saying? The more I know, the more I find out I don't know.
Right.
And I think that sits that perfectly describes this Florida football team at this juncture. The more we know, the less we really know.
Yeah. I know this much. I know after the Miami game, people were miserable They just didn't even want to watch Florida football. They're beyond disappointed, upset, angry, what do you want to name it? And just the appearance that something has changed and giving them a little. When I left Jeffrey Mellon's birthday party a week ago Sunday, I walked out of there. It was a guy who'd been around games for a long time, a guy probably in his 60s. He was looking for some assurances. He says, buddy, can you just tell me one thing? Can you give me any hope? I said, this is after I lost to Miami. I said, right now, I don't know how. I just go back to that great Marjorie Kennan Rollins quote: man can live without hope, but not for long. So you got to have help. I know he was just begging me to give him hope. And at that point in time, I couldn't give him any. Now I think what I can say is that you got a quarterback of the ages coming right now. This guy's special. He's going to be fun to build around. They can survive this year, even if sub 500, get after it next year and start playing better defense. And this team could be on its way to much better days. I feel that now after what I saw. But until then, I couldn't give any hope.
Oh, I think they're headed for better days. And I can tell you what DJ Lagway did. And I know a lot of people, I've gotten comments. I've been bombarded with text messages today from people saying, you're nuts. They're going to get rid of Napier. No, they are not. And I'll give you two reasons why. The first one is the quarterback we saw Saturday. Because they're not going to take a chance of losing him. Because I guarantee you, Georgia and Ole Miss lose senior quarterbacks. Guess who's going? So does Texas, but Texas has Arch Manning. But Georgia and Ole Miss, think of those two teams right there. They got tons, and I mean tons of NIL money. I guarantee you, if Napier leaves and DJ Lagway goes in the portal, Georgia and Ole Miss will back a Brinks truck up to his doorstep and say, how much do you need, big boy? And he'll be, and goodness, can you imagine that kid with Lane Kiffin? Holy mackerel. That's frightening. You want to talk about frightening? That's frightening. The second thing is Florida does not have a full-time president right now. We have an interim. If Ben Sass were still the president, I think he would be a lot quicker to make a move simply because of the fact he's going to be here a while. Kent Fox is not going to turn over what could be perceived as a problem to the next guy. That's not going to happen. So I promise you this, DJ Lagway and Billy Napier will be here together next year. And a lot of people may say, well, why do we have to have Napier? Well, if we get Billy, we got DJ. And I like the idea of DJ being the quarterback next year.
Great stuff from Franz Beard. You can read him on GatorBaitMedia.com. He carries the ball. He carries the ball 30 times a game for us, and always great to have Franz. And Franz, I wish you the best for all your surgeries. Great job of playing hurt and keeping pounding at the good stuff like you're doing out there.
Stitches come out Thursday.
Okay.
And hopefully the thumb is back to, grip it and rip it time very, very soon. The shoulder, well, let me put it this way. It's all in the hands of the people who run the MRI. And they're going to tell me if I got to have, if I have micro tear, they're going to tell me if I've got to have micro tear surgery on that rotator cuff, because
you may be talking and you may introducing yourself to talking in your column and instead of typing it. I've done it, by the way. I've done it a few times.
Well,
you go just talk it right in there.
Well, I hope, I'm one of these ones that I work better because half the time I don't know what I've written, buddy. The fingers just do it, and then I look and say, "Why did I say?" that's the one thing about it is when the fingers do it, you look at it afterward. Some of the times you think, "Wow, I said that," and then other times you say, "Wow, I said that." What am I wrong about, Matt Scott?
Well, here's the thing. Remember the old yellow pages? Let your fingers do the walking.
Yes, I do.
That's your fingers do the talking, but let your talking be your fingers.
that might be. Somebody's telling me it's written several times that I'm wrong, and I can tell you right now, when it comes to both of these two things, you can tell me I'm wrong all you want, but I know better, and I guarantee I got sources you don't have. Anyway, we'll talk.
You do that.
God bless.
Great
everybody.
stuff, my friend. Thank you, Francis. Have a great night. We'll talk to you later in the week. Franz Beard. Check him out. GetAbateMedia.com. You can catch him here a lot on here. Take care. All right, folks, we're going to wrap this program. Made it through tonight. Not trying to be a hero here, but it was a challenging couple of days. We did get finally get a chance to do this show despite the difficulties, the health things with COVID, and we appreciate the support and all the good things that you have said to us and passed along in your best wishes and your prayers and thoughts. I want to tell you that you should know about our friends at redstar.net. There are very special people who do great stuff in North Central Florida. They're constantly doing things for our community, and they're most of all looking out for our health. And they want you to know that if you are willing to do these clinical trials that they have now, they've done like almost 900 of them. It's helpful to them and to you and to your community because it helps get the information they need from this area, the DNA, which they can ship off to some of these companies where they're designing these prescriptions for us for these particular things that we're needing. Like they have clinical trials on asthma and on issues of allergies and all kinds of things. So if you'd like to take part in some of these, they're painless, by the way, and they cost you nothing. You can get some special medications delivered to you. You just go to redstar.net and find out how you sign up for the clinical trial, and they will march you through that, and you'll get a chance to be a part of it. And some of these issues, most all of them pay for time and travel if they get picked. And they do a wonderful job for our community and getting our needs met for our health. Red Star is a wonderful organization. People I know, they've been there a long time, going to be there a long time. Check them out, redstar.net. Red Star Medical Research, seeking tomorrow's answers to the health questions of today. Thank you so much, folks, for listening and staying up with us tonight and putting up with us here. We appreciate your loyalty. We thank you to all of our great guests we have every week. Tonight, of course, it's great to have Shane and Scott Carter and Franz Beard. We always have a terrific panel. Tomorrow night, Lauren Meadows will be hosting, and he's got his cast of thousands, including I'll let him tell you about it. You got special guests tomorrow night, and on Wednesday night we'll have our Sweet and Sour program back with Allie and David Bolton. So thanks for listening and thanks for watching, and we'll be around the rest of the week. Come and join us. Thanks very much. Good night, folks.